keeps going north, it ultimately will get beat up and fade out. It might even be out of Florida by tomorrow morning. But then is it going to come back? See, Jacksonville Beach is only maybe, what, 30, 40 miles from the border?
Yeah, right. I bet it's not even that far.
Yeah. The Georgia area. It's a real nice area to go on a trip.
Yeah.
To Brunswick and Sea Island, Georgia, Jekyll Island.
Right. Yeah, when we lived in Atlanta, we actually never got down to the coast. It's a lot further than you would think.
Oh yeah, it's a long drive.
Yeah, you'd think, oh god, I should be there an hour and a half or 2 hours, like 4 hours or something. Yeah. The other thing I remember, so we lived in Houston. So Houston's obviously a long way from Northern Virginia where my folks were. I'm thinking to myself, great, we'll be in Atlanta, we'll just be up the road. But that was like an 8 or a 10-hour drive.
It's a killer.
You look at the map, it doesn't look that far, but it's a big country we live in. So, yeah.
Is St. Augustine before Jacksonville or after? I can't remember.
It's south of Jacksonville.
St. Augustine is.
Yeah.
So it isn't yet to Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
She's talking about problems in St. Augustine.
Daytona Beach Fire Department suspends operations due to water. Yeah, I think Fort Lauderdale Airport's open again.
That's a terrible town.
Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed that.
Drugs.
Really?
Yeah, junkies.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a town that, Fort Lauderdale was basically Chicago people.
Okay.
It was built by a guy named Lauderdale by the Sea was called, what the hell was the name of the guy? The Chicagoan. He went down there and he built all these condominiums on the water. And everybody in this early, in the 50s, Galt Ocean, the guy his name was Galt, and they called it Galt Ocean Mile, that whole strip. And he built these condos, big ones, right next door to each other for quite a while.
And this was when?
In the 50s.
Okay.
And everybody that had money in Chicago, I got a condo in Fort Lauderdale.
That's funny because I would have, if you had asked me about Fort Lauderdale in the 50s, I would have said it was kind of a sleepy town.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Until this guy came down.
Okay.
Because I went down there in the late 50s, and it was nothing really. Del Rey was that was like a whistle stop.
Mm-hmm.
Stewart was unknown.
Yeah.
So you went through and said, what was that? Oh, well, that's Stewart. It was a train stop.
Okay.
There was nothing there. And everybody came down and bought these condominiums. And of course, those buildings are now 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And the Connerys went down there. And the Connerys was my cousin, my wife's, or my mother's sister's children. They're kind of, I don't know, they're not, but it's a typical family that had a little bit of money, made a little bit of money. They acted like they were big shots socially. And the kids all acted that way. And they all died out. So the condominium was owned by like 4 families. And Nancy died, Bob died, and Michael died, who were all younger than I am, my cousins. They're all dead, and they got all kids. And so I don't know who the hell owns the thing, and I think what happened, they just abandoned it, let it go.
Wow.
Because the Connerys are that kind.
Yeah.
If you wanted to buy it from them, and the guy next door would be selling his place for 100. They'd say, "Oh, I want 500 for mine." They were, you know, kind of crazy.
Yeah, right.
And then they would do nothing, you know, like crap falling off the building.
Yeah, that's quite the.
So anyway,
Yeah, so they still got 91-mile-an-hour stuff going on in Daytona Beach.
really,
Yeah. You know, as you were just saying about the Connerys that, you know.
yeah. Well, they were taught to marry money, and they were taught to be socialites, and they acted if they acted like they were big shots socially, you know, and they were just ordinary people, you know.
Yeah.
I liked them, but they were all showboaters.
Right. The I think I recall my mom was friends with one. I think.
Joan.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's still alive. She's the last one.
Okay.
She called me or wrote me an email. Yeah, called me on the phone yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I talked. She said, "You better get out of there."
Okay.
She,
And where is she?
Well, she married a doctor who inherited a bundle of money because I did the probate, unbeknownst, well before she married the son or the grandson, and she had like 6 kids, and one of the daughters got married and got what is that thing they get after they have a baby?
Oh, postpartum depression.
Yeah, she jumped in front of a train.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and she's got 5 kids or 4 left, and she married this fella who became a pathologist. Nice guy, but she was bubbly, and you know, he was kind of a bookworm type guy, with a lot of money. And they haven't lived together. They're still married, but they haven't lived together for like 30 years.
Oh wow.
He's in a nursing home now, and she lives on Walton Avenue near the Drake Hotel.
Oh, so they're still both in Chicago?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then she's got a son that's a lawyer, and I don't know what he does. He was a hippie last time I saw him. I don't know what the hell. And she called me and said, "You better get out of there." And she's friendly to me, but she's spacey. You know what I mean? She's all bubbly, and then you try to get her on the phone, you can't find her. Yeah, but she's the last Connery left.
Wow.
They're all dead.
But she has 5 kids though.
4 now.
Okay.
1 died.
Well, the in addition to the one who killed herself.
Yeah, she's got 4 left.
Okay. What did the other one die of?
No, they're only 1 died.
Oh, okay.
The one that jumped in front of the train.
Okay. Well, that must have been a.
Oh, that was terrible. You know, there's a lot of people that die up there that I know, but you know, travel for me is tough. So
Oh, I bet, yeah.
go up there every time somebody dies, it's too hard.
Right.
And it's emotionally draining to me too.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the guy, I went to this doctor in Mass General, and he said, "You're doing fantastic." He said, for being at the, what the hell did he say, at the life end period of your life. He said, "Oh."
Hey, thanks, Bob. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, your life's end.
Yeah.
The life end stage of your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, "Hey, Bob, I got."
Not that I didn't know that.
Right.
I mean, you know,
I got another 20 years planned, Bub. So don't sell me short.
There,
Yeah. Well, I do have bad news for you. I read an article the other day, and apparently they're saying now that there's effectively a biological dead stop at 115. So, you know, once you get to 115, it's the end of the line.
See anybody over 100? What they look like?
Yeah,
They
right.
already walk, for
Right.
Christ's sakes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I figure I got 2 or 3 years left of having some vitality. I do sleep a lot though, and I like sleeping.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I envy you that. I am not a good sleeper. I've not been a good sleeper for a long time.
Sleep. That was the thing that killed me at Notre Dame. Oh, no, we'd study so late in the night, and then we'd have to get up early, and I was exhausted. I couldn't wait to get a nap, but there were other guys that were in the school. They apparently never needed sleep.
Well, I remember we had. Matter of fact, we have it right over here. We used to have these clocks in our house. With the 3 keys that you wind.
Yeah.
Give the little Westminster thing with the gongs.
Yeah.
And everything. And Dad turned them off because he said he couldn't sleep at night with the gongs going off. Yeah. And I couldn't understand that, but I understand it now. I mean, I can't.
What did he ever do with all that furniture and stuff?
Sold it all. He sold it all. I think.
He had those 2 Oriental rugs, and there was one thing. Bob, when he was like in high school, I think it was, he wanted to learn to play the guitar, and I had a guitar lesson guy for him, and he got pretty good at it. And my dad had a belly.
The mandolin.
Mandolin.
Yeah. We got the mandolin.
And I said to my sister, "Are you using that?"
No, we never used it.
Bellow, and she was nasty to me on it.
Really?
I'm not going to give you that.
What?
What?
That's strange.
Oh yeah, it was like, I was taking something of, her last dollar or something.
That's weird.
I called her up on the phone. I said, my kid's, Bob's taking mandolin, and I like him, my dad played it a little.
Right.
Not real well, but he played it. And she said, "I'm not giving you that. You can't have that."
Wow.
I go, "Oh, okay."
That's strange. I wonder what that's all about.
I don't know. I told her that when Mother died, I wanted these 3 items. I didn't care about anything else. And she said, "You take them." And I said, "Well, what do you want to do with the furniture and the chairs and the rugs?"
Let me guess. She said, "Sell it and split the money."
No. She said, "Well, I want that." So I said, "Okay." I said, and then she called me back and she said, "I do not want the bed sets, the bed, the dressers. No, I don't want any of the glassware, but I do want the Wedgwood china.
Okay.
It was white with gold around it.
Yeah.
She said, "I want that." I said, "Okay, I don't want it." And she said, I want the chairs." Okay, you got the chairs.
Yeah, we did get a few of those, come to think of it, yeah.
Okay, you can have anything you want. So I said, "But we gotta sell this apartment." I said, "I put the mortgage on that. My mother, we were renting there." And then
renting? No, it was a condominium.
Well, we were renting it. And it was a rental building.
I remember that, but it went condo, right?
It went condo, and I had to buy it.
Okay.
So I had to put, so I put it,
So you had the mortgage.
I bought the thing and put a mortgage on it. And I said, we got to get a tenant in there or sell the damn thing. So I went out, everything out of there.
Yep.
So she understood that. And we got rid of the stuff.
Excuse me for interrupting, that's a different number. They said 289 in Haiti. So, I'm sorry, but go ahead.
So we got rid of all this stuff. And then we had a woman that worked as a waitress at one time at one of the clubs. And Ann's family knew her, my wife's family knew her, and I got her a job taking care of Uncle Andy Baker, who he was not my real uncle.
Okay.
But he was very close to our family.
Right.
And I drew his estate and everything. He didn't have any children, and his wife, she died, and he was kind of a mixed up kid. Or he got to be in his 80s, but didn't understand much. did all his work for him. And he drove well, and he wanted to give Nancy Lou and me some money, so I was, you know, he would have given us more, but I didn't want to, that's unethical for a
Yeah,
lawyer.
right.
So I said, no, I said, 5,000 is enough. So he gave Nancy Lou 5 and gave me 5. And he had this woman that took care of him, that I got for him. She cooked for him and, you know, did that stuff. And then when my mother got sick, where he lived and she lived was like 2 blocks apart, so he could come over. He wanted to marry my mother, for Christ's sake. And they were both in their 80s.
Yeah.
I said, well, do what you want, I don't care. And then she took care of my mother. So when he died the same day as my mother. It was weird. And I said to Nancy Lou, take the furniture. So she said, I want the furniture. Okay. And then she called up and said, I don't want the bedroom set. I don't want the glassware. I only want the
Wedgwood china.
Well, yeah,
some chairs.
Yeah, something like. So I go to this, Marie was her name, this woman that was taking care of everybody. After both of them died, that was her business, taking care of old people. She thought that was great stuff. And what she did would bring the old people to her house. She'd take care of them there until they died. And then she'd try to get them unethically to give them the money. And I said, I don't want any part of that. So she did that with somebody, and she called me over and said, what do I do here? And I said, well, you can't do that. And I went in the house, and there were 2 of my mother's chairs in the house. So Nancy Lou never took them. I don't know how they got there. She must have given them to them.
Well, could she have been the one who stole that infamous?
That I don't know. I don't know how she would have gotten it out of the building.
Well, somebody did.
But my mother had a lot of friends in that place.
Yeah.
That condo building. And maybe my mother gave the key to.
Hey, JoJo.
Maybe my mother gave the key to one of her sons.
Right. Hey, Charlie.
I don't know. And it was gone.
Yeah.
Never knew what happened.
Well, I don't know. This Marie sounds like she's suspect number 1.
Well, how would she have gotten it out of the building? It was a condo building.
Yeah, but she just, well.
Charlie's not driving the rest of the day or tomorrow. Sorry.
Why?
Tomorrow. He just beeped the horn to make my car beep 30 times in a row.
Oh, sweetie, come on.
I'm sorry, I'm not tolerating it. It's disrespectful to the neighbors.
Right.
You learn to follow my rules.
Yeah. Charlie, this is where silence is advised, okay?
I didn't say anything.
I know you haven't. I'm just kind of getting out in front of it.
Who is it? Which one is it?
Charlie, yeah. Yeah.
I got it mixed up. Well, anyway, so I don't know how the hell they got that thing out of the building.
Come give me a hug, JoJo.
They could have moved it out of the building.
Just on the freight elevator, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a freight elevator.
Dad, today in history I got extra credit on my test for helping some alumni from our school do a math problem. It was a linear equation and we didn't know how to do it.
Really? Wow.
What did he say?
You got extra credit?
Well, yeah, because Ms. Hart couldn't figure it out either. It was a slanted line, you know, on the graphs.
Yeah.
You have to figure out
Interpolate
the slope intercept form of it, like
This
y
is a straight line?
Y equals
MX plus B.
Yeah.
My goodness,
No,
I
but
can do
we had
that.
to actually find the numbers, but they still couldn't figure it out.
Wow, I think I could have done that one.
He's a freshman in college.
Huh, man, go Charlie. That's like Algebra 1 stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh.
So anyone in the class pretty much.
Yeah. Which class was this?
History.
Okay, so now she thinks you're a math genius?
Well, no, because it was an easy one, probably.
Yeah.
She just said, is anyone good at math? And I raised my hand, so she picked me, and then she gave me extra credit.
How long did it take you?
Like 10 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. Charlie's my math whiz. He's a pretty good.
I can't add, so I didn't come near me. 2 and 2 is tough for me.
Yeah, my dad did not like math.
Oh, I don't
No.
like it either. But I don't know how that I never did that.
Yeah, I think we've solved this because she would have been a known face in the building, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like they're going to say, who is this strange woman?
Yeah.
She would have known about the freight elevator.
Oh, yeah.
She had a couple of the chairs already.
Yeah.
Presumably stole those, right?
I don't know how she got those. She said to me, your sister gave them to me. And I don't know.
Yeah. I'm saying guilty until proven innocent.
Okay, well, whatever. I didn't see the, well, she might have hid it
Right.
in her house.
Yeah, but she would have likewise,
But
she would have hid the
was
chairs.
very unethical at the end,
Yeah.
which I didn't believe. I mean, I didn't believe she'd do some things that she did. And I said, you can't do that, and you have to return this money.
Yeah.
And she was money hungry, and after that one time I told her to do it, I didn't want to represent her, and you had to return the money. And she never called me again, so
Yeah.
she turned out to be a bummer at the end.
Right.
Very good in the beginning, but a bummer at the end.
Right. Right. So that's an interesting legal question. If you had somebody that kind of did that, just befriended old people, and
What she did was, I don't know where she'd find these people, but they'd be old people.
Yeah.
They were basically,
the older the better.
the older the better, and probably slept most of the time. She put them in her house, and then she'd say, what do you have? And this woman would say, well, this particular case, the woman had like $80,000 in about 4 different bank accounts. Well, she got the woman to sign stuff where she took the $80,000 and put it in her name.
They take that out of the table with
Stole it,
the
in effect.
Yeah.
And I said, you have to put that money back in the account for the woman. We can't, that's theft.
Right.
And she said, well, I said, well, you gotta do it. She said, well, I wanna buy the house next door. I said, look at what you wanna do with the money is something else, but that money's gotta go back.
Yeah.
And I said, if it doesn't go back, I said, I'll have to, as on duty bound to report this.
Yeah.
And so she did put it back, but she never called me again.
Yeah. So how would the law deal with a situation like that? Because theoretically, if the person, I mean, you'd have to effectively prove that the old person in question was not of mental capacity to make decisions like that. I would think that would be a relatively high bar to prove, because the old person could just say, well, no, I did it.
You could go in, and what would have to do is you'd have to go in and report the woman, and then somebody that takes care of, either the state's attorney has an office that does that, they'd go out and interview the woman and say, do you want to give all your money to this woman?
And she says yes.
Well, she says yes, well then that's
Right.
that's the end of the case.
Right.
Or she says no, which
Yeah.
she said to me,
Right.
no,
Right.
I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I said, well, you did do it. And,
Yeah.
she, well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Gosh, it sounds like it'd be relatively easy to make a lucrative business, though, of just.
Well, she would have done that.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
This lady?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Listen, as a lawyer, you run into, oh God,
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
terrible stuff.
Yeah.
Look what they did in my own family, for God's sakes. Jesuits, what they did, it was just ludicrous.
With John O'Connell, you mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah.
And everybody thought he was the most wonderful man.
Yeah.
He could
Yeah.
you would say that man is just wonderful.
Yeah.
He had the gift of gab, and he was just
Right. Right.
total thief.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was that way, I guess, all his life, according to my mother.
He's kind of a snake oil salesman, huh?
He was a snake oil salesman.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I better get in the shower here after all this.
What time is it?
It's about almost 3:30 probably.
Yeah, it is. You know what I'm gonna do?
What? Take a nap?
Yeah.
Can I get in the shower real quick? Can you give me?
You absolutely.
Yeah, give me 10 minutes and then I'll
Yeah, you
be out of your way.
That's what I was gonna tell you. You gotta get in.